That's better. So I got a minute. So we're going to aim, 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes. Whatever. It's been a rough one, folks. We started soybean harvest approximately 6, and it's getting done. Let's just say that much. And when it's working, is doing a pretty beautiful job with cutting. See, look at that. Nice, right down to the ground, follows the contours, works beautiful. Doesn't even look all that bad on the combine. But we've been chasing some electrical gremlins with it, from number A, bad sensor, number B, letter B, letter 2, bad ground, which was covered in gross and grit and rust and disgusting. Cleaned that up, worked great for 24 hours, and then for some reason it decided to spook out again, and ultimately we just chased down a connector that's coming from the right hand sensor on the head. Don't know why it's there. It looked like it could have been important at one point in time, but with the combine running, which I don't recommend anybody that, any people that aren't farmers that know what I'm talking about, don't get out while the machine is operating and mess with the controls. But I did grab that connector and wiggle the wires and actually shove the wire into the connector, and now it's working. So now we are connectorless, and we have just a regular butt connector in there, and it's working for the last 30 seconds. So that's what my day is. I see Tyson's here. How's it going? Tyson, back in the field. Where you guys work, you got to be in the field doing something all the way up until the ground's got snow on it, which could be as early as next week. Am I right? Feel bad for me. I don't need sympathy. Let's see. Beautiful weather. The weather's not too bad. 70 degrees out. A little bit of overcast. But it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and I am out in the boonies. So if the video quality isn't that great, I apologize. If I get up on top of the hill, I didn't really take that into consideration before I start up on the hill, because all Dad has left is this little spot down here. I didn't feel like bringing the grain cart all the way down here for a hopper, because the last part of the field is that way. Oh, well, as long as we got audio, we're just going to run with it. Maybe the audio or the video will be better once it actually uploads. So the 97, 30, 40 minutes getting it all set up in the morning, but it's worth it because we're actually, when we are running, we're knocking out acres fairly quick. Everything that you see through here is 70 bushel. I need to show you guys a picture of 70 bushel beans versus 20 bushel beans, because I can show you the exact same picture and that statement would be true. With beans, you can't tell if they're 70 bushels or 20 bushels, because the field that I thought didn't look too bad, we knew it wasn't going to be outstanding, just completely crapped itself. Northern California. How's it going? There are always gremlins. Yeah, I'll agree, Parker. Slovenia. Where's Slovenia at? I know, don't sound all that like I know where. I haven't examined a globe in a better part of a decade, so. But I'm fluent in Google. Ohio. Are you guys still wet over there? Yeah, I know you guys have had a wet spring again. How many guys on here, how many people on here, you don't have to be farmers, but the current topic is the Mississippi River is going dry to the point where they actually closed down the river in 2 different sections. And if anybody remembers 2012, everybody says that 2012, the nasty drought, had actually started in 2011, in the fall of 2011. And that's kind of where we're at. It's dry. There's not much moisture immediately towards the surface of the soil, and that kind of has me wondering a little bit of what next year could potentially have in store for us. I'll take dry over wet, I mean, that sounds absolutely nasty, terrible to say, but I'd rather have dry weather than wet weather. Because a drought will scare you. You know, a flood will starve you. I mean, at least in dry weather, you can still work. In muddy conditions, like 6, 7, 8 months out of the year, or even longer, you just can't get anything done unless you're going to slosh around in the mud and get stuck. The worst drought you've ever seen. And you're in Northern California. I was going to actually say, hey, without looking at who you were, Semper. I was going to say, you must be in Kansas, Ohio, because I hear they're talking that they are the driest they've been in over 100 years. So they're like, well, if you ever want to know what the Dust Bowl is like, they pretty much are experiencing it right now. The Brent cart has been all right. I mean, you gotta make sure you do everything to it, grease it, and check your tires, and make sure any welds aren't giving. We're currently down one cart. Tonight's video will show you that, or not show you it, but I discuss it. That 500 bushel Brent or Easy Flow, the gearbox kaput on it, so we got to go through and address that yet. We have 135 acres of beans to go yet. Did he? I haven't watched Ryan's video yet. I've been back and forth all day today. But yeah, we should have at least Dad's beans done today. And then we got what, 3 more farms to go. Yeah, the 9510 used less fuel than the 9770, but the 9770 is getting a lot more ground done much more efficiently and doing a much better job of threshing than the 9510. So yes, even though it might be burning through more fuel when you buy machines like this, your fuel consumption really isn't the first thing that you worry about when you're buying machines like this, these big machines. An above average harvest so far. I think everybody that I've been told, everybody's had pretty decent yields so far. I haven't talked to anybody myself that's been doing corn harvest. I mean, my friend Ryan, he's combining corn right now. I might burn over to his place on this once I get Dad started on the last section. He had a baby here, and I haven't really talked to him since. I wanted to go say hi to him. And as far as I know, I haven't talked to him about how it's running, but our agronomist says that it's running above average. We haven't done any yet. And Dad just got done down there. Sun's back out. The head looks like it hasn't given him any issues the whole time he was doing that. So that connector hopefully solved it, but I said the same thing when we nixed out or cleaned up that ground wire. Thing needs a bath. Uh, 235 bushels to the acre is what I'm hearing some guys say. I mean, yield checks, if I've done yield checks, they've come in higher.
but until you actually get out in it at this point, it's hard to get excited about it until you actually see it on the combine. That's the last little bit of beans there. I mean, they're coming in about perfect. I mean, this farm, whoa, we got the hammer strap on the 4640.
15 to 30 bushel corn in Minnesota. Yeah, that sounds absolutely atrocious. And if I started to think that we were getting kind of iffy on like drought, like you just heard me say, I'd probably pay the premium or pay the extra for the additional insurance coverage just to cover my rear end a little bit more. But went through and put the hammer strap on the 4640. I can't remember if I've addressed that or not. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to put that back on versus having that pin in it, because that pin was going to hurt somebody, and that is so much better because it's a tight fit on the drawbar now. The only downside is I don't have a hitch saver piece of plastic to put underneath there for wear, but it can't be helped. I should make a video about it because I know most people aren't going to watch the supposed live streams I'm doing, but the 4640 is on the cart because the 4640 can pull the cart fully loaded comfortably. Uh-oh.
And as far as putting the 8235 on the cart, just to say that you got the big tractor on the big cart. We used to, because we weren't willing to risk putting the 46 on it. And running those 1,000 bushel carts that we had on demo, the 82 had to go on those. So the 46 ultimately was all we had to put on this. Well, if the 46 can get away with going on the grain cart, the 7600, granted I don't like doing it, but it can handle going on the green cart. It frees up the 82. And by freeing up the 82, I mean I can leave it on the baler, or I can put it on the chisel plow. It did ultimately end up on the easy trail wagon, not because that was my intentions at all. The reason it ended up on that is because it was the only tractor available, and with that other cart failing on us, it was worth bringing up that 500 bushel easy trail wagon just to be able to harvest that much more and get it inside, because they are calling for rain Tuesday night into Wednesday, but as of right now they're only calling for 1/10 of an inch, and the ground is powder, like there's no moisture there. As long as it doesn't all come down at once, well, even 1/10 of an inch all at once really isn't going to be any worse than the heavy dews that we're getting in the morning. So I'd say we're okay there. She's dirty. The thing I don't like about soybeans is they get up underneath all the nooks and crannies of the combine. Corn does too, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't seem to collect nearly as bad as, we can probably follow him, huh? It doesn't collect on the frame and in the pulleys like the soybeans do. So we get done with beans, we're gonna take it back home. I'm actually gonna get the air hose back out, or take the air hose to it and actually dust off the combine. And hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier if we keep up with the dust on it. It'll make it a little bit easier going through and cleaning it off to put it away for the year. And it will be nice. You get all that soybean dust off and then go into corn. You're not stacking all the corn. See, just a little dusty. Alley-oop! Woohoo! Ah. I don't don't know where he's going, otherwise we'd go down the waterway. This is a different bean number. I've been told this is the better yielding number between the two. So we were pushing 70 on the rest of the farm on the last little bit. 75 maybe? I don't know. Hope farmers in the U.S. make good crops. Hey, thanks, Johnny. $30-foot head takes quick work in some of these crops. I mean, we are in the phase of bigger is better. So as far as wondering if we would ever go back to a smaller machine, smaller head, smaller tractors, smaller combine, it's just not, it's not on our minds at all. I mean, pretty much it's buy the biggest thing we can really afford, we can cash flow, and go that route. And you guys are gonna be looking into the sun again. Nah. I was quick enough I didn't get a face full of dust. But these beans, seems how Dad's going that way and he's making so much noise. Let's look at the beans real quick. They're dry, but they're not like stupid dry. So dry is 12% moisture. Stupid dry is 10 to like 8 or less. And we've harvested 8% beans before. And harvesting 12% beans over 10% beans, what'd I say? So, okay, so if you harvest 10% versus the 12% target, you lose 2 bushels to the acre just in the weight from the lack of moisture. So this is, I'd say, fairly average. You still got some of the stems and stuff hanging on there, but got 2 beans there, 3. These are the, what I like to see is where you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's where you start to find your yield. Granted, when you get towards the top and you're still getting multiple bean pods, and I'll knock this one over. There we go. So I mean, then you got resilient one pod right at the top. So giving the old finger to the sky. But moisture did that throughout August. We had essentially free irrigation. What I mean by free irrigation is soybeans, your yield largely depends on what moisture you get throughout the month of August. And we didn't have an abundance of rain, but we were getting the rain when we needed it. And I am hearing that even in the dry areas of the world. Corn per bushel usually averages around 56 pounds per bushel. And I'm seeing guys that are actually reporting in the dry areas where their corn is coming in at somewhere around like 63 pounds per bushel. I think is what it is, which is good. It's packing on more weight. Let's see. There's more money at 13.5% beans versus 10 easily. The dock isn't that much. We used to have a hillside combine, Trader Joe. It was a 6620 side hill, and that was a bit of a learning curve because we never had to experience the combine leaning with the hills until we went to the 9510. And that first week running the 9510 on some of our hills, I know it was a learning experience, and grabbing a hold of the door thinking the combine's tipping over just because you're not used to the whole machine leaning like that, which is a big reason why I like the duals in the 9770. Feel so much more stable up in that cab. Oh, look at the cracks in the soil. You feel so much more stable up in the cab. with the dual combine and some of our hills over super singles or just the regular singles. There's some guys running tracks in this area, which, you know, are to spread out compaction. But my problem with running tracks is that you still have a high center of gravity, and I don't really know how stable those tracks are on side hills. Renee, I'd say corn harvest, the way things are looking right now and how things are moving, I was thinking maybe by the end of this week, or by next weekend. The way it's looking right now, it'll probably be like Monday, Tuesday, potentially Monday, Tuesday the following week. So another 8 to 12 days, give or take. Which I'm not in a big hurry to start corn. I know that bugs my agronomist when I say that. But beans first. I'm perfectly fine with getting the beans out and then switching to corn. I can get the combine cleaned off, and then see here, hear that crack? Old 2-bean pod. But the nice thing about it is that the beans that are here, they're not BBs by any means. They're good sized beans. So yeah, Tyson knows what I'm talking about. I'd rather have stability. That's why the 4640 has the duals back on it, especially like for down at the valley. Oops. I don't know if I just kicked you guys out. Make sure you guys like the video if you like hearing to a farmer sit and talk about his crops. But look at this. Okay, I'm 6'1". This one plant right there, just I'm looking. That is halfway up my stomach and just packing on the weight. So the beans are doing this good. Dad's got the head off and heading back this way. That is extremely alarming. So I guess I'm gonna end the live stream and go talk to Dad. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like the live stream. Make sure you like the videos. Really appreciate it. It certainly helps. And until next time, take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you later.